I'm Robert, and as usual, I'm joined by Midnight Medium. Unfortunately, Deadforge couldn't join us for this episode, but any Deadforge fans can rest assured that we will see him again soon. And tonight, we're heading straight to the gritty streets of Brazilian Drug Dealer 3, a game that's equal parts satire, sandbox, and sheer madness. Please welcome the developer, Joeveno, and the publisher, Joe.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? I'm the creator of Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I opened a portal to Hell in the Favela trying to revive me, I need to close it. Yeah, and now I'm creating also Brazilian Drug Dealer B44, Demons from the Portal to Hell I opened are still in the favela, and now I have to save my mods for Ronaldo. Also, I know the names in Portuguese, which for Brazilian Drug Dealer 3 is Aviãozinho do Tráfico 3, abriu um portal pro inferno na favela tentando rever Michai e preciso fechar. And for the other one is Aviãozinho do Tráfico Pré-4, sobraram demônios do portal pro inferno na favela que abriu, agora tem que salvar os mamados do Ronaldo. Guy, memorize all this
Obrigado.
shit. I don't have like something in my screen saying the name. I know this shit. And I say that in events and everywhere.
All the time. Yes, and I am Joe. I am the publisher of Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I opened a portal to Hell in the Favela trying to revive Medaya. I need to close it as well as Brazilian Drug Dealer before. 4 demons from the portal to Hell I opened are still in the favela. Now I have to save my mods from Ronaldo. Some other very cool games. I work with Bubby Darkstar and Shooty Robot Invasion. I'm working with Studio Whalefall on Brine, which is a really cool boomer shooter set in Cornwall, England. I just attract these boomer shooters. We're working together.
Brian's on my wish list, and I totally interrupted you just then because I got excited.
That's great. That's great to hear. Now, I'll get you an episode with them too. We'll do that sometime. Just saying. So, but yes. And yeah, happy to be here. Happy to talk shop. But I definitely want to let Joeveno answer most of these questions because they're really geared toward a lot of what the games that he makes are like kind of represent. So
I love that those ridiculously long titles come from a game called Quake.
Yeah, like it's just a one fucking word game, you know. I really want to get Romero to know about this. I think he's gonna like the game. It's kind of humor, you know. I think.
But before we start the main interview, gentlemen, as usual, Midnight Medium knows what we're about to do. Let's get booming.
Get booming.
Before we go into the main interview, gentlemen, I believe Medium wants to say something about Memorial Day. This obviously is an important event that's happening as we're recording.
Well, I just mentioned it as to everybody in the U.S. Of course, this is the Memorial Day weekend, so if you're passionate about honoring the soldiers that died in the line of duty, if that's your thing, happy Memorial Day. So thanks for those who have done that.
Happy Memorial Day.
And yeah.
How do you start an interview like this then? Because obviously everyone kind of knows, it's Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. There is a 2, there is a 1. They're very, very different to what, we're discussing here today then. So before we go into our first question, let's just have a little background on what is it that inspired you to take the approach that you're taking with the third entry in the game? And how did you manage to balance that realism with the fun in a world that essentially deals with gritty themes?
I think the context needs to go back to my childhood, unironically. Like, go really back for that. Because here in Brazil, like, I didn't grow up with what you call traditional games in that sense. Because I wasn't the kind of kid that grew up with, 97 getting a Nintendo 64 and shit like that. That's not how it happened in Brazil. Things are fucking expensive here. So even in 2010 was when I got my PS2. It was like literally fucking 10 years after it was launched. And that was when we got it in Brazil. Like officially. It came out at the end of 2009 officially in Brazil. So like that's getting the console. Getting the games officially was like, no. It was really fucking expensive in Brazil. So what I got was actually bootleg versions of the games. So I went to street sellers and I bought it for like $1 to $2 and was like fucking copies made on Nero or some shit. And like, I didn't play GTA San Andreas. I played GTA Rio de Janeiro, which was a fucking bootleg GTA San Andreas with fucking Brazilian radio stations. And like the ballers wore like team jerseys of Brazilian soccer. I hate to say fucking soccer. It's football. I know you guys probably say football too. Fuck the Americans for that, you know? And like, yeah,
Football
it's
here in the
football.
UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's football. Hell yeah. And that's what I grew up with. So I didn't grow up with like stuff like GTA San Andreas. And it was like translated to Portuguese, which is even fucking cooler. And what happened is that that's the kind of thing that I grew up with. Games with Brazilian representation. And not only that, I grew up with a lot of Brazilian mods as a kid. Like, for example, one of my favorite maps for Counter-Strike 1.6 is a map called CS Rio, which is a recreation of Rio inside Counter-Strike. So, if you come to think of all this, it's a lot about socio-economic shit related to Brazil, a lot of how Brazilians grew up with shit. And one thing that I always felt is that I didn't get the representation in especially commercial games. So even since Brazilian Drug Dealer 1, which is Despacito 5, who reads this is an asshole too, that's the name of the game, the first game, which is like Sonic the Hedgehog in favela, I was trying to bring that since the first title, you know, which was Sonic, a heavily modified version of Sonic with Brazilian themes, kind of making a homage to what I actually grew up with games. So that's what I tried to bring. And one thing that's sadly part of our history is like Brazil has a lot of criminality, but it's also a bit of, you know, for example, pop culture. It's kind of like in the US with gangs and shit. We have that as a part of our culture. I'm not glorifying this shit. Please, for God's sake. Just like GTA isn't glorifying this kind of shit. What I'm trying to bring is like, that's what I grew up with in entertainment, like GTA Rio de Janeiro and shit like that. I try to bring that, you know. It's not glorifying. It's showing a bit of our reality and also in a cultural way, you know, bring a bit of our culture also with like stuff like football or music and shit like that. I try to bring that in the game, you know, since the first one. You know, you have like this favela background, but it's not like in a I wouldn't say negatively saying about our culture, but like showing a bit of stuff that was in our pop culture, especially in bootleg games, you know, and try to bring that in some form of a game that's, you know, more of a traditional game per se, you know. So that's what we had in BDD 1, BDD 2, and in BDD 3 even more, you know. And in BDD 3, I try to bring some social commentary also on top of it. We had some social commentary about the structure of Brazil on the other games, but it was more subtext. In Brazilian Drug Dealer 3, I try to bring that a lot more, but at the same time trying to bring a cool game to play. For example, we have a really big problem in Brazil with betting nowadays. And not only betting, but we have problems with like violence related to teams. I know that's something that sometimes happen in the UK and stuff like that with football. That's something that also happens in Brazil. And I try to bring how there's a mix of monetary, you know, problems with that. Like people are gaining money with that shit, and there's people killing each other because of football. And there's like a whole fucking betting system behind it. So it's because it's a boomer shooter, I try to bring that more as a background thing. You can see that in like buildings, some characters you talk, but it's not like the focus, just like it is in our lives. Shit is happening around us, but we're living our lives. We're doing our jobs. We're going to work, and there's shit happening. Like there's this kind of like real life. You're doing a thing, and there's a lot of shit happening in the background. Really shitty problems in the background. And then you're roaming around those levels, and if you pay attention, you're gonna see a lot of those references. There's like billboards for bats. There's like references to like the enemies itself, like the possessed people are people with jerseys of the teams and shit like that. And it's almost like a world building with social commentary that sometimes people don't notice, you know?
Was there like any nuance in the game though that you did want people to reflect on? You know, if they saw something that it was kind of a pause for a moment where they thought that this is the reality of the lives of some people out there, or was it simply that, you know, it happened to take place in the favela?
One thing that I would say is that near the ending of the game, it gets more in your face, especially near the ending when there's literally a text that appears saying, these are innocent people that are possessed. This is happening because of betting. There's literally in the ending of the game, there's a lot of in your face shit, you know? But also, I think that visually, when you think about the social structure of Brazil, just by looking at the levels, even by being kind of subliminal, you kind of get that into you, you know? It's kind of at the same time subliminal, but at the same time in your face. But if you want something more literal, you know, with text and stuff like that, it's one of the end scenes of the game. Really goes into like having some commentary. But I try to bring that, the way I try to say that, it's literally with billboards at like a hallway. And I try to bring like something that is kind of a language of a mod, someone that was learning about Quake. Like I try to bring that, so it text with Comic Sans and like a non-regular structure language. So I try to bring that working inside like the context, the humor context of the game, you know. So I think it's a mix of a lot of stuff. But if you want a more literal thing, it's on that end level with the hallway with the text having literal comments on the situation, you know.
As a player, you know, as a non-Brazilian player, when I first experienced the game, I didn't pick up on much social commentary. It's mostly just you're shown so many new things very loudly all at once. But the section that he's talking about, it's like the last level of the main campaign, or one of the last levels, and it just like lays stuff out pretty clear. And then when I got to that point as a new player and as somebody like a foreigner, even I at that point was like, oh, like there's more to this. And then you kind of start going back, and I would see like signs for like Ronaldo bet and stuff like that. And of course, I was also at this point starting to talk to Joeveno about stuff, and you know, we talked about the lore. All the lore is in the game too, so you can go look at it. There's also a wiki, but there's a lot to it. But it's presented in a really, really interesting way.
Yeah. Was this before you became on as publisher and factored into your decision to publish the game, or was this after, and then you kind of played the whole thing?
I played the game before we like started having serious talks about publishing. But it, you know, and it did factor in, you know. I mean, I understood that it was like shortly after talking to Joeveno, like I could tell that there's just more than just like a crazy ass game. There's a lot of like thought to it, you know. And if there wasn't, it would just like suck. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. It's hard to walk the line of making something like low fidelity on purpose, or like fucked up on purpose, crazy on purpose, because you have to ride that line of like, oh, just nobody's gonna like, this is just gonna fucking suck because but so when I see something like this that does that well, it intrigues me. And also I love Quake, so that was also a big determining factor.
I heard that it's.
Oh.
Sorry, Joeveno, go ahead.
One thing is that the game, I try to bring it with a bootleg look, but one thing that I was really careful about was stability, the quality of the design of the levels, like making sure no one gets lost. It was balanced, and that conceptually, it wasn't just something that made Brazil look bad. That wasn't the idea. It was the idea of being a celebration of what I grew up with as a gamer in Brazil, and have a mild social commentary of the problems of my country and how much I love my culture. That's kind of the idea. So I tried to bring something that looked wacky, but as a homage to my life, and try to make a good game. That's kind of the idea, you know?
Well, I was noticing it specifically benefits your game too to be that sort of irreverent, and like all the incidental iconography that pops up can not only be like a theming, but it also can just sort of look like arrows on the bottom of billboards inclining a certain way or something like that, and draw the eye and you're like, what's around the corner? Like I know that little kind of that cable car or whatever that is that's going across that kind of raised area, and there were some billboards at the end, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be looking around the corner when I get to the end of this. I'll know exactly where to go as soon as I get off, that kind of thing. So I thought that was a pretty cool incidental thing.
One thing that I tried to do, that was, for example, a way to break what people would expect in a game design, trying to use this bootleg feel as a aesthetical and mechanical thing, was Quake uses like wind effects and shit, and that's related to like structural sound, not music sound. So in the 5th level, there's like this club, and like whenever people tried to like they hear this really fucking loud DJ, they go into the menu, and then in the menu they reduce the music. It's not the music. You need to reduce the actual volume because that's technically not in the music thing. So that's like intentional design shit. That's part of the experience of the game. But using like this bootleg style to have it as a layer to make it make sense, not just be something shitty, you know? So I was able to to use this as a structural thing for the experience, the bootleg shit, to make it's unusual for design. So I was using the aesthetic and the like world building for like making traditional stuff from game design a bit different. I was able to do
also
shit.
like the question of like, do games always does it always have to be like fun, or is it we're like chasing an experience of like, for that, again, that example, getting your ears blown out by this and ripping your headphones off and trying to fix the thing isn't necessarily like a fun thing to experience, but we hear about that part from like everybody, and most people, if they don't stop after that part, they finish the game and they like love it. It's like the filter, and it's a really interesting concept. And we have one in the new game too. We have another like volume filter that works in a like a different way than the other one. That's I just experienced like the full force of for the first time the other day, because we've been tweaking everything to make sure it's just crispy enough. And it is it's louder.
This time around in the other game,
the men from
you
the boys.
could hear the gun. In the other game, you could hear the guns. You can hear other shit. This time around, you can just hear the sound. Yeah. So
that's going to be fun for people to experience.
Like
playing
if
too much
you
puppet
guys
combo
thought that
with those jump scares.
If you guys thought that the club level was loud, that level just fucking knocks it out of the park. It's a lot loud.
Get the biggest speakers you can find
too.
for it.
Well, that's an interesting segue. Were there any particularly tough bridges or any darlings that you had to kill, kind of bridging the gap between what's kind of a funny, might become a meme someday kind of fun thing for the player, and maybe that's going a little bit too far. Like, were there any design challenges where you're kind of like, okay, I feel like I like the vision, but it's a little hard to implement? Anything like that?
One thing that I was really careful about the game is that whenever I had really fucking wacky ideas, I would go, hey, this is mechanically good. This is good for someone to have fun. Will this be memorable? One thing that I had a problem, not in BDD 3, but the next one, is that I really fucking wanted to put a slide mechanic on Quake, but that's really fucking hard to do. So I had to put it out, and that's probably gonna be in the sequel. That's gonna be, I don't know if we can say that, but we're kind of, for the one after the one that we're gonna launch, we're kind of making an open source clean room engine that's compatible with id Tech, that's gonna be able to do the wacky shit that we want to do, you know? And we're gonna make that open source. You guys are gonna be able to make games on it.
Right.
That's the
I'm going to ask you at the end of the recording if you want anything cut from this during the edit. So have a think about what you just said.
I think
pretty open about it. Like,
yeah.
Okay, then that's good.
Yeah.
As open as the source.
Yeah. It's gonna be totally open source. You guys are gonna be
probably more open than this. More open than the source is the ultimate goal, but we'll see where we get. We would like to have. They have a certain kind of open source licensing. GPL is that we want to move this tech into like an MIT open source, which is a little more commercial friendly. But you know, this might be stuff you want to cut because we legality and shit. But you know, but we're cool with talking about the general plans for that. It is kind of an interesting thing, but we can get there probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty neat.
That sounds good. You mentioned that you had to cut something. Was there like anything else that you had to cut, but you know you had to do it for like technical or creative something you regret basically? Is there anything that you were like,
technicality beyond the slide mechanic? I think that culturally, I had nothing that I went too far because I'm really respectful with my country. So we didn't have anything that would harm Brazil's culture somehow because, like negative ideas about my country and stuff that's like related to prejudice to my country. I'm not that kind of person. So I never had that problem in that regard because I love my country and I know when something sounds shitty for my culture, you know? But related to mechanics, I think that slide,
car. Remember, but we kind of changed it. We changed it.
The car. We tried to put a car, and like, if you guys ever saw a car in Counter-Strike 1.6, you know how shitty it can be in that kind of engine, you know. So, what we were able to do, and we're now putting in the next game, is that I was able to make like a skateboard level, and it's really fucking cool.
Okay.
So. That's one thing that was planned for BDD 3, like skateboarding, and now I'm able to put in this game. We were able to find a way to put this shit. Like I really wanted to put a skateboard in the last game, but like I wasn't able to. We even have a skate level, right? We have like skate level in 3, but it's just downhill shit, and it's not exactly a skate level. It's just
fun. We could port that to the new one though. You know, we could port that with a new character controller and just see how this is like a test bed for the actual skating. That would be fun.
Yeah. And in the new game, you're going to have like a game mode for like skating. And that's something that I planned for the last game. So it's all kind of Oh, you guys can see.
Medium, why don't you go?
I was just going to say that's a new type of movement shooter mechanic we have not seen. Is sort of everybody nostalgia baits Tony Hawk all the time, but they never commit to it. So it's about time.
Yeah,
we smush them together.
A big part of the design philosophy. A lot of the upcoming design philosophy is influenced by like things like obviously like the Quake movement and stuff. But once we move into the new engine, I would say it's closer to a really fast-paced Half-Life. We're doing a lot of like study on some of the Sonic games, specifically like Shadow the Hedgehog with like fast movement with shooting.
Yeah,
some of the,
and
like,
we
old
we
techniques.
don't care if you guys don't like Shadow the Hedgehog, by the way. We
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Fuck it. I
I'm
love
not, I'm not
Shadow the
deep enough
Hedgehog.
into the lore to make an opinion about
It's
it. I just remember that when I played Sonic 2, Super Sonic was like the coolest shit ever, and I
Hell
had to
yeah.
collect all those emeralds so I could be Super Sonic, because obviously it's so different to the other two games. Why did you choose the Quake End? Because it's literally a reskin of Quake 1, right? It's like literally Quake 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it exactly that because it technically is mechanically,
Yeah.
but what makes it different is that by not using vanilla Quake engines, using Quake Spasm and other engines, we had a lot of increases in limitation that allow me to make some kind of different level design. It kind of happens with like Doom projects. I think that what happens is that by using Quake Spasm spiked multiplayer and not having to care about limitations of enemies, which was one of the biggest problems when developing in Quake originally, is that I was able to bring some serious Sam into the mix. So I was able to make some really fucking wacky levels with like 300 enemies and shit like that, bringing that nuts thing. What I try to bring to make it a bit different is this bootleg baggage visually and like in level design, I try to bring a bit of Serious Sam to it. So it is mechanically Quake. To be more exact, it's mechanically similar to Dissolution of Eternity, but we did big changes to some of the guns and some of the enemies. So there's some changes, but it's really similar to especially Dissolution of Eternity in that aspect. But in the design of the game itself, it's more Serious Sam, I would say.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
we're big Serious Sam fans around here, so they just don't
Hell
make.
yeah.
I know there's a lot of Serious Sam games out there, but it does feel like they don't make enough of them. It always feels like you want another one, really, because that last
Yeah.
one that came out, what was it, Shatterverse or something? It wasn't really doing it for me. You want the old style back.
You need a proper Serious Sam. Just like we need a new
Yeah.
I think
New-
that there's no Serious Sam is cool. That's no one.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it. That Siberian thing. It's
So,
cool.
Siberian Mayhem or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think so.
Yeah.
That sounds
It's
right.
a
It was
good
made
game.
by modders, right? So
Yeah.
they understand everything kind of, mechanically about it, but it turned out to be better than the actual Pro Team mainline entry. But
Yeah, it's a great game. So
yeah.
what I try to bring is that also Quake is basically the best movement you have for any FPS game, in my opinion. And like
I agree.
the not only that, the enemy design, everything is a really good basis for any game.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean-
everyone gets P move for their games, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think anybody, like, looking back, if you want to make an FPS game, anything that you're doing for an FPS game, if it's good, it shares some kind of identity with Quake, just because of like finding in like a programming sense, like finding the universal tools that kind of are like the best way to do something was just they found it with that, and it was copied and obviously, or maybe not obvious to a lot of people, but from Quake you have like the Gold Source engine, which has like Half-Life, and if you like from there it branches out, and there's like so many games, even like modern, like everything up to like modern Call of Duty shares some DNA with Quake. So for the original like progenitor of all of this to be usable in a way that is like open source, as long as you like follow the right way to go about it, it's incredible. And to be able to like iterate upon that, and kind of like work on something new from it, it's just really, really special. So I would also say it's really well documented. If you want to learn how to use something and you don't feel like using, like if someone was like, how do I get into game dev? You get into modding. Well, how do I get into modding?
Yeah.
The first thing I would tell somebody to do is learn how to mod Quake, because it's so easy to mod. There's so many tools. It runs on absolutely anything that you could throw it on. I'm on like a shitty integrated like laptop from like 2021, and it runs BDD3 like a fucking dream, 60 FPS. You know, like, you know, it's really good. And there's tools like Trench Broom that people use for modding a lot, that we've, you know, I know we use it a lot, and we've seen other game devs that make completely different kinds of projects, like Funny Raccoon Game, which is like an old school style like third person platformer, but they make all their levels in QuakeSpasm, or not in QuakeSpasm. They make all of their levels in Trench Broom, and because of that, they share like map files with our games, so we're able to collaborate with projects like that really easily because we can share map files and stuff like that. It's a really interesting, it's really cool community. And to add to the like the Quake reskin thing, you know, I would say first it's absolutely like a full conversion mod. Everything's been changed and updated. The roots are the same, of course, because it's the engine, but it's also been modified in ways that allowed things like Steam achievements, trading cards. We have integrated Steamworks multiplayer now that allows for people to just connect via Steam Relay and play multiplayer with each other. You know, these are things that are being put into a game engine from 1996. You know, there was no accounting for
It's amazing what can be
Steam
done.
achievements. It's an incredible engine. It's really like one of the most important pieces of technology. I think I really do think that, because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have 3D games. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. So you could the quantum leap between the Doom engine and the Quake engine. It's like everything from the Quake engine onwards was an evolution of the Quake engine, because that was when they cracked the code for the, you know, the full 3D movement and stuff, which simply is standard in all games. You know, they're still even using, was it Rathian of Ruin came out a few years ago? That was made using Dark Places, the actual engine. You know,
Yes.
that originates from Quake.
It's using
But-
their template. We kind of templatize some of like what they do with, or like, you know, we're interested in their process because
Yeah,
it's a similar thing, because it is like ultimately our projects are very similar in that they stem from
Yes.
Quake in the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
even asked. I talked to some fellas of the Ref A of Rooting when we were making like achievements and shit like that. They were really helpful, by the way. They helped me
That's
with
good.
like defining shit, understanding how shit works. So it was really cool. The shout out for them. They are cool guys.
Yeah. Well, they just released a
Good
VR
people.
version, which is kick-ass too. So
oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't believe
I've
how
heard,
good that
so.
looks. Yeah.
it looks so fucking cool. Yeah.
I noticed that the like the ogre stand-ins in this game are like Lego models, right? And then there's like the snake weapon later on. I noticed there's some kind of wackier influences. Is that like just something fun you're implementing, or any of that just like
So,
the original? Or, I mean,
Uh,
obviously the Legos aren't, but
one thing, it's cool that I'm in this room. Maybe I'm not able to move the computer, but like I have stacks of fucking Legos here. I'm a fucking Lego addict. So
You know,
that's
Legos a
basically
lot.
like
Like a
I have
lot.
a fucking lot. I gave a Brazilian Lego to you when you came to Brazil.
I
by
have
the way.
it. It's sitting up in my office now.
Yeah.
I have to put
So
it together.
it's something really about, like, this game is really about Brazil, but also about me, how I lived in Brazil, the things that I live with. Like, Lego is a big part of my life. I grew up as a kid with Lego. So, like, this game, yes, it is about Brazil, but there's some stuff about my personality on it. So, the Lego guy, the lore of it that I built is that not only people got possessed, but also toys got possessed. So, you have some
Nice.
toys roaming around with like the rival team of like the guy that was making the possession, which is not the Silva, by the way. That's a spoiler. He's trying to fuck up this team, make this team look bad. You know, the fast.
Yeah.
And he even made toys have the team jersey look bad. So that's kind of the lore of it. And about the snake, that's actually a World War II Brazilian reference. So
Really?
yeah, what happens that In Brazil, when the Brazilians were gonna be part of the war, they would say the snake's gonna smoke. So that's the snake smoking. So that's a reference to like the fab, which is like a military thing in Brazil. So
What is that to gringos? What is the snake will smoke? What does that mean? You've explained it before, but I can't remember.
I'm trying to find a way to explain it to you, but it's like shit's gonna get serious for you,
Right.
fucker. It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
Shit's
gonna
about to
get
hit the
serious.
fan. That kind of thing.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about to get fucking real. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, shit's about to get real.
Alrighty, now we build it up big. Burning questions sounds serious, right? But they're really kind of a low sizzle. You got as much time as you need. This is more like the impromptu, freestyle. That crazy, let your personality out, do your thing. So no pressure. These are mostly just for fun, as you will soon find out. Because there's no way these could have serious answers or. But get as deep as you like.
All right.
Alrighty, so. I don't want to limit your answers. You can make it as Phil Donahue as you want, or go full fucking B Diddy chaos. Alrighty. All right, Joe, I'll start with you first, sir. I got question numero uno goes, if you had to replace one of your hands with a household object for the rest of your life, what are you choosing, and how would you justify that choice?
Man, this is hard. I replace my hand with one object. There's like no risk of infection regardless of what I attach to my hand, I guess, like I'm good, or is it like?
Yeah, you're good. You're like Ethan Winters in the Resident Evil games. If you just staple it on, you'll be good. Don't worry. You're immune to all biological hazards and
Probably a gun. Because it'd be fucking cool.
Hell yeah, brother. But how would you justify it? The question says.
Probably a gun.
Useful until you
Justification
try to
is
take
the
a piss.
rule of cool.
Yep.
I like it. Alrighty, now if your game, such as BDD3, suddenly added a real life mode, what's the first bug that you would patch? Traffic jams or awkward small talk?
Just for Joeveno, yeah?
It's for me, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Real life, small talk, or traffic jams. Where I live, I live near a road that's called like the Death Road. We have a really fucking big problem with traffic jams. Like I get people like, I've moved here a month ago and I saw like 5 accidents. So I would really fix fucking traffic jams.
Sao Paulo was also is a nightmare to fix city too, man.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Sao Paulo has some fucking terrible traffic jams, so for sure,
If you-
especially
And small talk from Brazilians either. That would be like a cardinal sin. Traffic
Yeah.
can go.
yeah, traffic can go, dude.
Shut up and drive, right?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, question number 3. If you could delete one everyday annoyance from human existence, but it has to be something really petty, so one really petty thing from existence,
I already know. Yeah.
what are you wiping from reality?
Reddit.
What's that?
Ooh, well, that was fast.
Reddit.
Daily.
Yep. It's gone. Easy answer. Reddit is gone. Everybody that is a Reddit moderator has to go out and talk to people in real life. And we don't have to, people don't have to post about their games there because it sucks. So yes, Reddit.
Yeah. Like whenever you post on Reddit about, hey, I have a game, people want to fucking kill you because you're talking about your game on Reddit.
Yeah.
And you can't market your game on Reddit. That's
I know.
not cool.
They limit you, don't you? You're only allowed to plug something once every 2 weeks there. I got banned or something when I first started.
They put that rule, and then there's like 5 fucking moderators that look at everything, and if they just don't like it, they like.
Yeah.
Here's an example. This had nothing to do with like marketing the game on Reddit. I just wanted to post something on Reddit because I thought it was cool. I picked up a physical copy of Halo 2 at like a local like convention thing. I was like, sick. I got this for like $2. Great. It had a manual and everything. So I posted it on, I forget if it was the like original Xbox or the Halo Reddit, something like it was appropriate. And I posted it, and it was getting I got a good amount of upvotes. People liked it, were commenting like, "Oh, cool, awesome, I like this." People that were showing that they appreciated it. It gets deleted because you're not allowed to post pictures of non-rare merch. I'm like, who the fuck decides what non-rare merch is? Like,
Yeah.
Can you Walmart and buy Halo 2? Fuck you.
One
Piece of
thing
shit.
that happened to me was that I posted in one of the Reddits, and like my post got removed because it had like an emoji. You can't put emojis into your fucking
So
post.
it's just
The
so
fuck?
Fucking
whack.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
You have to read like
that's
a terms of
childish.
service to fucking post and like a separate TOS for every single subreddit. And it's like people say how important it is sometimes, and it's just like it just sucks. Reddit sucks.
It's
I hate
kind of like
Reddit.
when you move to it's kind of like what's happening in the building I'm living now. Like one thing that happened before I got here is that there's a rule where I live that you can't go into the front side if you have like groceries. You have to go into the fucking back, which doesn't make any fucking sense, you know? It's kind of like
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like I don't know how you say. It's like a condo, condo
Right.
ruse.
Condo, yeah.
Yeah, it's condo ruse. Fucking Reddit feels like bureaucratic condo ruse for some reason.
Yeah, I have to use it for the podcast, but I wouldn't use it on a personal level. I literally just have to use it for business reasons because it can be a proper cesspit over there of stupidity. I believe there's one more question, right?
Yeah. And I'll just add one sentence to that. There's one Reddit that used to post in that if you shared anything, you had to use two different type of brackets. Like you had to use parentheses for one thing, and then use the little like right angle brackets. And if you did them in opposite order, it would automatically kick it back. And you had to credit who it was from, what platform it was on, and then get those brackets right. I was just like,
Yeah.
and
there's-
put the timestamp. I'm just like,
There's shit like that in Reddit that we post for when we're on sale on Steam, and if we like mix them up, they're like, no, post is gone, and they try to correct it and put it the right way, and like, you already posted, and you can't post for 2 more weeks. And we're like, it's in 2 weeks, and they're like, well, like, I fucking hate you, everybody. I love you, Reddit. Sorry, please let me post there, but just fucking lighten up a little bit. God fucking damn. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue, please.
well, I'm glad we all got to crash out there because our last question is of a similar verve. All right, so if your character, I don't know what the character is, but if your character had to survive in a British supermarket, use your imagination, armed only with a trolley, or a buggy, or a shopping cart, depending on your locality. If you only had your buggy and sarcasm, how long until they rage quit?
What you mean with a buggy? The car?
The cart, yeah,
No,
like
like your little
Yeah.
cart, your little
Well,
thing.
you
put
put
So
your
your
you mean
groceries
the,
in. Yeah.
So, how do I? Can you tell it again?
Hey Rob, you may need to translate this one because I'm not sure I understand it either. But
Let me
hey,
get to the question.
Joeveno, how long if you put the character De Silva, in a British grocery store, and all he like how do you think how long do you think De Silva would last like trying to like get groceries at a British grocery store?
I don't know. It
That's
depends if there's any Irish people that say water or something. It would be like Wawa, Wawa. What the fuck is Wawa? Wawa. You know. It depends. You know. Like there's a gag that we have like with Irish. I know this is like a British question. But, like I don't know if you guys ever saw a guy named Lemmy. You guys know Lemmy? Like yeah, like I'm a really big fan of him. He's like an Irish. I know we were talking about British people, but I don't know there's some Irish people there. Like there's this guy. He's a comedian, and there's like this sketch that he did. It's like talking about water, and he's like, "Oh, we have this war, and like it's such a strong accent that like sometimes I didn't understand what he was saying water, and like yeah, it depends. If there's some Irish there, he would probably be like a bit confused. The fuck is Walla?
Yeah.
It's Wallala. It's Wallala from like Age of Empires or something. You know.
And here's
It's a
me
pretty good
thinking that the
answer.
British accent was always, the Queen's English, because everyone thinks that's how we talk, and we don't. A lot of people say water, but my partner,
Oh.
whose ex is Irish, would always say, "Oh, they go fish." And it's like, "What? Fish?" I
Fish.
was like, "What? Fish? Oh,
Oh,
fish.
fish.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fish."
Like if you
Oh,
if you
right, okay.
need like
That actually
like
sounds
emergency,
Scottish,
you
doesn't it?
need food, and you don't know what the fuck is war or fish. Yeah, you could die of hunger. That's what could happen. You know.
There's
Oh,
fish in the
okay,
water.
yeah. Cool. How so Brazilian Drug Dealer 3 is a crazy game, but how do you manage to balance that kind of craziness with kind of the serious storytelling and the entertainment of it? So is there like a point where you're like, I need to kind of be serious at this point, or I can go full on acid trip with this point? How do you maintain that balance?
What happened is that in my country, historically, we're really into comedy. It's a really
Yeah.
big part of our modus operandi of entertainment. Love comedy, so it's kind of easy. I think that if I made BDD3, I don't know, well, let's say a serious country, I don't know, Japan or something, depending on the tone of the game. But Japan is kind of funny. Yeah, I need to think another country. I don't know. Think a fucking serious country. A really fucking serious.
Russia.
You know?
We can try on the German. Sometimes they're very
Yeah,
to
Germany.
the point and
Like
Yeah,
German
Germany.
history.
direct.
You need to be really fucking careful if you make a Germany-based game. You know, because it has a really sad and, with all due respect, disgusting history in Germany. Really being respectful, they did a lot of bad shit in the past, so you need to be really careful in the way you treat, like, historically. Like, Brazil's been a country that a lot of bad thing happened to it, so you can be ironic and have a social commentary of how people have been shitty to Brazil. For example, there's a joke that happened a lot in Brazil, is that Portugal stole all our gold, so we kid around saying, "Hey, fuck you, Portugal is still all our gold," and like people in Portugal are okay with that, and so we can have like this funny kind of humor. Like, Brazil history is so fucking, we suffer so much injustice that we cope with a lot of irony, so it's easy to like don't have something that is you don't need, even on serious topics, you don't need to be all serious, because it's really a country that's been through so many terrible shit that we need to cope with post-irony or irony, But I've been careful with stuff. Like, for example, one thing that I didn't go and do in the game, for example, that I was kind of serious, even being kind of tongue-in-cheek, is that near I live, there's a hospital that has a really big problem with lines. So, like, this part is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I try to put a bunch of NPCs on a line. So I was talking about a problem that we have with like big lines in like hospitals and shit. So yeah, that was kind of funny, but like I try to put some deeper references there. Like I've put Ronald McDonald's on it. Like there's a reason for that. It may seem like a joke, but if you go deeper into it and you try to think why I put Ronald McDonald, you understand why. So it's funny, it's ironic, but there's some seriousness to it,
Yeah.
I won't explain why, but there's a reason Ronald McDonald is there. And I'm kind of going to explain that deeper in the next game. So I try to bring some stuff in seriousness, but since our country suffers so many shit, the way we cope with shit is through irony. Usually, you talk to someone in the street in Brazil, like something bad happened in the country, people are kind of ironic because we've been through so many shit, so much problems that we cope with shit with irony. That's how we do it. So yeah, and I think what helps is that the way the person that I am is that I love my country. I'm really respectful with it. So my sense of humor is never trying to be fucking negative or try to shit on my country. So that's why there was never a moment that was like, hey, this is something bad that I'm thinking about. This is not something cool. I'm being negative about my country. I'm being an asshole about my country. So there was never a moment like that because I love my country and I respect it. So there's never been a problem with me going, hey, I'm going too far with this. Like, this is disrespectful with my country. Because, like, I would filter it before I would even think of it. That I'm not being egotistical. That's not what I'm saying. Is that I love my country so much, and like my political leanings make me really respectful about my country. That's what I'm trying to say, you know?
Yeah. I appreciate the candor.
Yeah, and that actually kind of leads into our next question that we already had, which is, what do you hope that people get emotionally and I guess to some degree intellectually from your game with that context in mind?
Is that Brazil is a beautiful country. Our culture is really fucking rich. We're the size of a fucking continent. And that even with all the problems that we go through, we have a rich culture. We have like a beautiful pack of people here. And search about the country and see how we go through so many shit in our like 500-year history. And that even with all the problems that we have, we still have an interesting culture that like gets foreigners interested in it, you know? Like search about Brazil, get in love with it, learn Portuguese, learn about our rich culture, and see how even through like difficult times and difficult history, you can like have beautiful music, beautiful art, like a beautiful culture, even with all the difficulties. Is that basically my message is, it would be a mix of never give up and please learn about this fucking beautiful country called Brazil. That's it.
Yeah. Hopefully we can play our little part in bringing a little more exposure to the country via your game. But I did want to ask one question though in regards to I know that kind of real world events do kind of, influence the game, of course, because of its setting and the various things that you've said. But you had to get around copyright for an individual, for a singer, right? In regards to your title.
Okay.
So
let's go.
Most people would have never heard of this singer. So how did that come into things?
What happened is that once BD3 turned into a commercial project, immediately, as a sign of respect for the singer of the original title, I created a new character to replace him, and I removed all the images of him. And not only that, I researched a bit, and I noticed that his family, like, they're totally right on doing that. We're suing people that were doing, like, using his image without, like, without knowing. So what I did is, before I would get into trouble, respectfully, I changed it up so I would avoid copyright issues. And not only because of that, I'm a big fan of the guy, so I'm super respectful. If they ever come up to me and say something, honestly, I love the guy, and I feel really happy that some people, even with his like image and name not appearing in the game, a lot of people come and learn about his music and become fans internationally because of the game, which is really fucking cool. Like, I had people from Japan. Fucking
I thought-
Japan.
I love Tim Maia, man.
Yeah, like there were people from outside of Brazil, like worldwide, knowing about the guy, even if my game doesn't reference him directly anymore. So,
Yeah.
Also, the place that this comes from is from a fan position. I would open a fucking portal to hell to revive this guy. Like, he's my favorite singer in Brazil. Like, I consider him the king of Brazilian music. So this comes from a place of love. So, and this is an homage to him. Like, the idea was to homage him when it was a game about him. So, like, it's a celebration of the person originally. It was, a celebration. So there was no bad heart on it. It wasn't a
Of course.
negative parody. So it was always thinking of making people, their fans, and feel like, hey, this is a homage to this guy, and make people love him more. So I think that's one of the reasons probably I never got into legal problems. Like, they know about the game at this point, probably. Like, I would be surprised if they didn't. Like, honestly. Also, I have a cool story. Like, some weeks ago, I was walking through the street of Niterói, and I was beside Tim Maia's song. Like, he was right at my side. It was really fucking weird. Like, my spine tingled. I was like, holy shit. And I was so fucking scared. And, like, I didn't talk to him, but, like, there was a coincidence of me and him being just in the front of where his father died. It's really fucking weird. Like, his father died doing a show in Niterói, and he was gonna make a play there. He's doing a Tim Maia musical there, and the musical is happening there in the place that his father died. I was where his father died, right beside his son, which is really fucking weird. But that happened. Just wanted to point that out. Really cool coincidence, Like, if I ever meet him up, I was gonna say, man, I love your father. He's like my favorite Brazilian singer, and like he's a genius,
You never know.
Nice,
Maybe you'll
nice.
come into contact with each other as a result of the game.
Thank God I
So
was
you've
worried.
heard of Shell Soldier. So
Yes, I did.
yeah. We interviewed the developer Robert a while ago, back when we had the original date for your slot before time changed it, and his question at the time, which we've held on to, was, how much is Brazilian Drug Dealer 3 inspired by Dusk? I think it's the
There's
Quake connection that.
I think the biggest inspo or coincidence is that there is a double shotgun, golden shotgun. It's really similar to the Dusk gun.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
can flip them when you.
Yes.
The lack of hand models too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Also
is
that.
true. They're not in Dusk. Yeah. The second
makes
question
me
that we
think-
have.
Related to Dusk, this makes me think. I hope that someday the Dusk devs answer me that. Is that inspired by Open Quartz? I hope they answer that sometime to me, because that would be a back inspo, because that's technically an Open Quartz thing. But I always think, when I was thinking about, I'm gonna use this model because it looks like the fucking Dusk gun, but that's from Open Quartz. That's something I hope I get an answer someday. But yeah,
Have you reached out on Twitter or something? Because David is
No.
quite. He's been on our show
Dave know-
twice now.
yeah, Dave knows us. I'll probably ask that for him on QuakeCon if he is there. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be at QuakeCon, by the way.
So the second question that we have then is from the developer of Unwelcome Guests, who was our previous guest before this episode. He's asking Andrea. Yeah. He's saying, are you planning more IMSIM elements for Brazilian Drug Dealer 4?
Immersive sim shit, I wouldn't say like exploration, open-ended levels, but there's some sim shit. For example, one thing that you can find in some levels is the football that you can play around. Not like you had footballs in BDA 3 that you can play, but only if you kill enemies. But now there's like you find a football court, there's usually a football that you can play around. So there's like some immersion shit. We put some small things. Also, some levels have like really cool fucking interactions that I wouldn't call instant shit.
I
So
think,
like,
I would also say I think we'll kind of have the opportunity with the new like what we're working on after,
yeah,
with a new engine to kind of do that, because we'll have more freedom to like work with it, because within id Tech 2 there's just like hard coded limitations
yeah,
to like stuff you can do. So once those are kind of removed or altered, we have a different set of restrictions that we'll kind of try to work within that. But I love Sims, so
yeah.
a chance to
Like
do it.
the next one's gonna be even more interactive. But like
Yeah,
B44 has some stuff like the football. Let me see the other cool stuff that it has. There's some. I wouldn't say instant shit, but there's some set pieces on it, like especially on the later levels. Like, let me see one cool thing. I wouldn't call it instant shit, but we put like an interactive helicopter on it. Like, there's also a interactive walking, how I would say that, like a train, moving train. It's not instant shit, but we have like bigger interactivity with the scenery, I would say.
more interactables in a Quake-esque game than just opening doors and like
Yeah.
hitting keys and stuff. There's more. There's a little more to it. But
Yeah. Like, I would say there's some Half-Life shit on it. There's some, especially on the set pieces. There's some really Half-Life set pieces on it. Like, yeah, there's a lot of set pieces on the game. We're talking about instance, but I'm going more into a Half-Life thing. I would say there's some Half-Life-ish shit on it. That's what I would say, especially Half-Life 1.
I wanted to start off with saying I was at first a little bit like, oh my god, look at this title. This game's going to be some quirk chungus thing where he was going to try really hard to be like the next big thing. And then I was just like, all right, I'm just giving it a chance. Don't be weird. I was like, this game is actually kind of great. And I was like, thank God it's not like a bit, where people try and be funny to the extent to make up for the fact they don't really have a product. And I was pleasantly surprised that this game was just super polished, super fun. Had a really good time with it. So I just want to let you know up front that we do actually really appreciate it as a game, not just like something to talk about. Yeah. So yeah, appreciate y'all's work there. And I was curious, what your success, like what qualifies as success for you guys? Of course, both of you can answer this because you may have slightly different perspectives on that. I know you've got like, your culture you're trying to bring to the forefront. You're just saying like, if nothing else, just make it a great game. What qualifies as like, this game hit the mark for you guys?
I personally think that it hit the mark once I felt that people were playing it and having fun and knowing about Brazil. It's really simple for me. Once I felt that people were having a good time with it and also feeling interested in learning more about Brazil, is that when I felt, yeah, I made a good game. Like, and one thing that I can tell you about the background is that I really fucking studied what made Quake like design-wise. Like, I studied like videos like talking about game design. I saw Sandy Peterson videos. For the love of God, I'm not getting inspired by Sandy Peterson in the level design. I'm not saying that. Okay.
I need some arrows, more arrows.
Yeah, I was more inspired by Romero.
Barrels.
For example, one thing that I took as an inspo from Romero is that technically you could walk in every place of the level you see, you can go there. There's a Romero thing I try to bring. Also, I try to make people feel like they are going into a world, they're exploring, but also I didn't want to make this a boomer shooter that you felt lost. I know a lot of people like this, but I try to make it a game that people usually knew where they needed to go, and also they felt it was a balanced challenge. So what I tried, I also studied some stuff. I would go into like reviews of some games, some older boomer shooters, see what people usually liked, what they didn't like. So I kind of studied Quake, and also I studied other boomer shooters to try to make it a good experience. For example, one thing is you guys probably noticed is that the fucking Vor is just a boss in BDD 3 because everyone fucking hates the Vor. So I put it as what it should have been in Quake. Fucking boss, not a fucking enemy. So that's one thing I try to make different, you know? So I basically studied what people liked about Quake and shit like that, and I try to make it fun. So when I saw that people were having fun and doing what I expected them to have game design wise, I was really fucking satisfied. And not only that, I was able to make people feel like they wanted to know more about Brazil. So the two main things that I was trying to make, a fun boomer shooter and a game that makes people interested in Brazil, were working. That was when it checked for me.
I think my perspective on it is pretty simple. You know, beyond everything that qualifies for Joeveno as a publisher, as long as he's feeling like it's successful and it's doing well, I bring attention to it in a positive way. I am, you know, for me, and personal success is being told by him that I'm doing a good job, that he enjoys working with me. But on another level, from a business standpoint, what we've been able to kind of use what we've made from BDD 3 to start kind of funding other games. Joeveno and I we have another game. It's not announced yet.
Yeah,
I can't.
it's not announced, but it's great shit.
Depending on when this actually comes announced, so I don't know when exactly, but we've taken on another project that we are able to fund independently, based on the success of our current projects and, you know, things we got going on. So that to me is a success in itself, because we're able to multiply our output of cool stuff in a sea of like not cool stuff. You know, like we get to we stand out, and we both are able to identify. But the success, I think, is just the ability to propagate more fucked up art. That's kind of that's mine.
What the world needs. Yeah,
I think so.
So say you had the, you know, this is a kind of final question, and say you the game was a colossal success, you were able to do everything you ever wanted to do with your future project. Are there any other developers or studios that you would ever collaborate with on that?
Let's see. One of the guys we kind of collaborated, not in a game, is New Blood. We kind of collaborated at Gamescom. Yeah, I really want to work with some stuff with. We want to work.
Well, what we've talked about is we would love to, like, myself, Joeveno, some other people, like the Brine team, basically my network of young upcoming boomer shooter devs, and myself, in association with New Blood, get the Duke Nukem IP.
Yes,
and we all
we really want to,
and make a new fucking Duke Nukem. That's what I want to happen. And Andy Pitchford, I beg of you, I have a line on you. I can get in contact with you. Please make this easy and contact me. Please, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
we can make it happen.
I'm tagging
Good move, Randy.
Tagging him in
also,
this episode.
One cool thing. The Silva is inspired by Duke Nukem, and I said this game is kind of like Brazilian Duke Nukem. You guys can kind of feel that, like the Brazilian references. While Duke is more about Americana, Brazilian drug dealer is like Brasiliana, or as we call it here, like Tropicalia, or thing like that. So I see BDD as Brazilian Duke Nukem, and I would love to work in like Duke Nukem himself, you know? Like, I grew up with Duke. Like, I fucking have Duke Nukem 0, our original Brazilian card for N64.
And we have the perfect team. We're gonna have a proprietary engine that runs off the same tech as Quake. We can make this happen. Randy, Dave, we'll have a meeting. We'll figure it out. I promise you. We will make you money, Randy Pitchford. I promise you. I know that's what you care about. It'll be like a magic trick. I promise you. I'll hold my hand out and we'll make a Duke Nukem game and money will just appear there for you. You can have it. Just let us live in.
Yeah.
That's the answer to that. Just in between No Quarter as a collective, New Blood, and Gearbox to reboot Duke Nukem for a new generation.
So Randy, make it happen.
One thing that I would like to say to people is to like research Brazilian pop culture, and not only that, research about like Brazilian culture. Like, please learn about my country. Like, my biggest objective as an artist nowadays is to make people more aware of our culture and how it's a beautiful culture. And I want to make that into more games. Like the future game, the other game I'm making, like it's growing like that. The objective is to put more of Brazilian culture in more of the games that I do. So the idea in the next one, like BDDB4 is even more Brazilian culture, and like in 54 is going to be more. So one thing that I'm using this position right now, please research about Brazil. Brazil is a beautiful place. Please come here. It's not as dangerous as people say. It's a cool place. It's been there. It's a good place to go. Please visit our country. And it's a really fun place. People are lovely here. We are really warm. Like, if you like the way I am, I'm kind of like what people are usually in Brazil. We are welcoming. We're like people that like to talk to people. We like to have a good time. We have Hyperions, and not only that, we have a continent-wide culture. Like, it snows in some places here. So it's really a diverse country culturally. Come here.
To piggyback again off of that, I'll give advice to game devs. If you're a game dev, read books. If you're a game dev, watch movies, watch TV shows that you like, study scenes and cinematography if that's what you're into. If not, take walks, play games, play physical games, play board games, play sports, get into contact sports, do MMA, do kendo, do something that has nothing to do with video games, and it will enrich your ability to make video games.
Also, don't be ambitious when making a game. You're gonna take, I don't know, a lot of time to launch it. Like, I know we're talking about positively about Duke Nukem, and we're technically talking positively right now, but don't do a Duke Nukem Forever situation. Like, have ambition, but don't take fucking almost 2 decades making a project. That's just
Keep
what I
it in
say.
the realm of reality.
Yeah, don't try to make a fucking GTA as an indie game also. That's something that happens to a lot of people. I'm gonna make the next GTA. I'm gonna make a fucking open world game. I've made open world games before. It's not fucking easy. Don't fucking do that. And be careful about ambition. Don't do a lot of mechanics in one game. Like, for BDDB4, the 2 new mechanics, it's like double jump and dash because you put fireworks up your ass, and then make the game totally fucking different design-wise. So don't put like a lot of new mechanics into your game. It's gonna fucking destroy your project. You're one person, one indie developer. So have ambition, but be fucking careful and do a lot of games till something sticks into a wall. I did like 11 to 12 games before BDD3, and some of them are fucking shit. So learn about it. Do a lot of games. You're gonna get right sometime.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode of the Quad Damage Podcast. If you want to check me out, I'm personally on YouTube, Midnight Medium. I'm doing a bunch of long-winded stuff on retro games, some mid-2000s nostalgia, that kind of thing. You can find me there. Also on Patreon, Instagram, Am I on TikTok now? God, I think I am. So that happened. They got me finally. I'll go ahead and plug Deadforge since he's not here. He's also on YouTube doing the video essay thing. Pretty similar in a lot of ways. He also is doing a lot of the games that these guys are doing. So if you want to get kind of bite-sized takes on the newest games that you're like, I don't want to have to sit there and pay $25 to figure out if I like this thing or not, or just go off people that seem like they're chilling a little hard, you're gonna get somebody like Deadforge that's gonna tell it to you straight. He's the developer's gamer. Like he's rooting for you the whole time. So if you want to hear good takes on things like these guys are making, you want to go to him because he's no frills, just gets straight to the point. And as
And
far
join his
as
Patreon.
yes, for sure. Was there anything specifically other than social medias that y'all wanted to? I know you were talking about QuakeCon. Is that something y'all wanted to talk about in this
Yeah.
section right here?
We're going to be at QuakeCon. We're going to be at the Bring Your Own Computer section. We got 2 seats right next to each other. So we'll have the full new game, Brazilian Drug Dealer, Before 4 Demons from the Portal to Hell I Opened are still in the favela, and now I have to save Mamadas from Ronaldo. The full game will be playable at our booth at QuakeCon. It's really just a place with 2 computers set up, but hey, come by and play it. We'll be hanging out. We want to get a big Brazilian Drug Dealer LAN party going at QuakeCon. I think it would be really, really fun. So please come hang out. Let's make it worth for Joeveno's second time in the United States. And we have other events as well coming up. I'll be at GCX in Orlando, Florida. I'll be at Too Many Games in Philadelphia. I'll be at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. We'll be at the Brazil Game Show in Sao Paulo this year in October. We'll catch us somewhere. We try to get out as much as we can.
Yeah, and Brazil-wise, I'm gonna be at some events here. I'm gonna be at BGS. I'm also gonna be at RetroCon, which is a really cool event that last year had like Yuzo Koshiro from Streets of Rage there. It's a really fucking cool event. I'm gonna be there. It's like a retro game event. One thing that I want to say is please, wishlist Brazilian Drug Dealer Before 4 Demons from the Portal to Hell I Opened are still in the favela, and I have saved Mamadas from Ronaldo. We are at around 35k wishlist right now. Please, let's try to get a 50k in September 16th. That's our objective. Trying to get 16k, not 16k, 50k. Let's try to get 50k wish lists because
You can do it.
yeah, that's basically what BDD 3 had when it came out, and it's kind of like a magic number. The game had a boom because of that. So that would be really fucking helpful. So yeah,
And I'll put all the links in the description.
yeah.
Hey guys, be the boom you wish to see in the world.
Yeah. Also, please,
Yes.
if you don't have yet, buy Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I open up for the hell in the favela trying to revive me. I need to close it. The game has support for Steam Workshop. Somebody made fucking FY Poo Day from like Counter-Strike 1.6 in the workshop. People are doing whack shit on it. The game's good. Like I know I'm a developer, I can't say that, but it has like 98% of approval on Steam. It's overwhelmingly positive at almost 7k not wish list, but like review shit. 7k. So people like it. Maybe you're gonna like it. I pulled my heart into it. And another thing is that please keep checking out our social for not just social shit, but like we're selling physical copies of BDD. So if you want to buy a physical copy of it, you're gonna find it there. And not only that, we're selling merch like clothes and shit. So if you're interested in having like some weird fucking clothing of Brazilian Drug Dealer, you can find it there, so you can wear around. And there's shirts, for example, one shirt that's called I'd rather be playing Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I open up for the having the favela train, revive me, 10 to close it. There's some really cool like not set piece, but like artwork shit. But yeah, that's a lot of shit that I said. Yeah.
Thanks,
So
guys.
good plugging it everywhere. Yes. And as obviously for the Quad Damage podcast, you're watching us on YouTube, but we are on YouTube Music as well. We are on Twitter under Quad Dam Podcast. I no longer post on Blue Sky, but we're also, God forbid, on Reddit as well. So please follow us wherever you want to.
It's Reddit pre the nuke that Joe's gonna drop on it eventually. But while it's still
And
around,
I guess, gentlemen,
Look at that, guys. Have fun with it.
and I guess, gentlemen, until next time, keep on booming.
On Booman.
Thanks, guys.
On booming. Thank you guys so much.